Hi folks, this week's video is a sticky toffee pudding with a toffee sauce, and it's especially for two lads, Wayne and Paul, who are helping me to lose a little bit of weight and make me a bit more fit. Boys, this is your treat for the week. Okay, here are the ingredients. Right, a little bit different this week. I'm not going to use the scales. If you haven't got a scales, you have no excuse. This is simple. This is just using cup measurements and teaspoon measurements. Okay, we have 200 grams of plain flour. That's a full cup of flour. We have 125 grams of brown sugar or demerara sugar, and that's a half a cup. We have 120 mils of milk, and that's about a third of a cup of milk it is. Okay, 2 eggs. Half a packet will be of margarine and 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now the baking powder, again, I didn't have any baking powder in, so I used these two ingredients, cream of tartar and bicarbonate soda. There's 2 of the cream of tartar, 2 teaspoons of that, and 1 teaspoon of the bicarbonate soda. Mix them together, and that is baking powder. First thing we're going to do is mix the dry ingredients. We have plain flour, and in goes the sugar, and then the baking powder, or baking soda as they call that in the States. And something else I forgot here, I have a little bit of salt. That goes in as well. Now, with a wooden spoon, we stir that around. These are all the dry ingredients. Mix it well. Right, that's the dry ingredients ready. We're going to do the wet ingredients. I have here half a pack of margarine, which is 125 grams in weight. Half a pack. We put that into a bowl. I'm going to melt that in the microwave. Yeah. Here's our melted margarine. That goes in like so. I add my milk. That goes in. I add my 2 eggs. And if you had vanilla, you could add some vanilla essence here. I forgot to buy it this morning. I whisk that up. My mixture's nearly ready. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare my tin. This is what they call a half-pound loaf, and I'm going to put that greaseproof paper in the bottom. Something I'm becoming very familiar with is my 1 cal spray. And that just lines that, and that goes in like so. Can you see? That's now ready to receive that mix when it's done. And the reason why I've done that now is because once you add your liquid to your flour, your baking powder is going to start work. That aeration that you need to make your sponge nice and light, nice and fluffy, only happens if you work quickly. If you leave the mix for too long out, you've lost it. You've got to have a flat sponge. Now let's start mixing. You add the liquid into your dry mix. Approximately half to begin with, and mix it in. About half of what's left in there, and mix that in now. And then the final bit of the mix. That's mixed in properly. Now can you see that? Good. In that goes into my tin. This is now ready for the oven. 180 degrees, approximately 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how efficient your oven is. But what we'll do is we'll check it after 20 minutes and see how it is. Right, I checked at 20 minutes, it wasn't ready. It's now, let's see, it's nearly 30 minutes. This is a plastic chopstick. I'm just going to check right to the center. Now if this comes out without any dough on it, it means it's cooked all the way through. Now look at that. That's just done. Right, I'm going to put it into the oven. I'm going to put the oven down to about 50 degrees, and now we're going to make the toffee sauce. This is the other half of the margarine that I used. That goes in like so. It could be butter you use. We melt that. We add the sugar. That's half a cup of sugar. That's the sugar and the butter in there. Now we pour in the cream. 250 mils of cream, and we bring that up to the boil. Whoa, there we go. And we just turn it down like so to get to the right consistency, and we have our toffee sauce. Look at that. You can see here that sauce has been simmering for about 8 minutes now. Let's see how the sponge is doing. Look at that, beautiful. Take that off. We're just going to smother that now with toffee sauce.